not to be afraid of making a mistake, but instead embrace the mistake, learn from it, and use it to make themselves better. You see, what we want to do is make sure that we don't allow our children to get pigeonholed into the same faulty thinking that if you make a mistake or if you mess up or if there's something that happens that is less than perfect, that you did something wrong, it's not good enough, and you've got to kind of start over again and get stuck in that paralysis of doing the same thing without being able to move on. So many of us, when we come up in a society that is based on, everything has to be perfect, when it's the farthest thing from the truth. Because, when you look at some of the largest companies, actually all of the largest companies, they don't tend to have the perfect thing out the gate. Look at Microsoft. Perfect example. Look at Google. Look at Apple. All of them tend to launch things and then correct and tweak as they go. I know that for a fact. I've got this iPhone 5, which all of you who own an iPhone 5 know exactly what I'm saying when I say that. No offense to Apple. They have gone a little downhill, though, since Jobs left the planet. Side note. Okay. But anyway, so that's the thing, is that our focus is on getting them out of the mindset that things have to be perfect, because we want to start them off right from young. We don't want them to get to be our age still dealing with perfectionism issues. So we focus in on that, and we get them to really own that. And it's kind of funny because my kids now will say, "Hey, Daddy, when I make a mistake, it's actually a good thing because it's how I learn." And I said, exactly. It's how you learn. I think we're going to have to change the lingo on some of the words that we choose. When we use the words like mistake and things like that, it has a different connotation than what it actually is. Consider this. When you are first learning how to exercise, how to dance, how to walk, run, all of these different things, when you stumble, when you are off balance, do you consider that a mistake? If you do, then you're in the wrong mindset from it. Now, I'm not trying to tell you what's right and wrong here, but I'm just trying to give you a perspective. Because it's an understood thing that as you are learning these things and you are strengthening different sets of muscles, major muscles, minor muscles, micro muscles, muscle clusters and filaments and things like that, there are dynamics that take place where your body has to adjust and understand how to make certain adjustments or certain counterbalances to different moves that you make. If you're running and you've never run before, you've got to learn how to hold your body so that you don't lean too forward too fast and stumble over, or not lean forward enough and fall back or over to the side. There's a lot of information that your brain has to take in. And if you've never used those pathways in your brain, what ends up happening is that they don't exist. You've got to fire certain things off in your brain in order to create certain protein sequences in order to make sure that the brain now has information in order to judge other things against. It puts your brain into perspective. It gives your brain a spatial working knowledge of what it is that you're going through, what you're doing, what you're dealing with, so that it can make the proper adjustments in order to optimize what it is that you're doing for the future. So when we're learning different things in life, which is why we are very focused on this with our kids, is that we want them to understand that their process right now is simply to take in the dynamic information and let their brains process it the way that they will. And then we have to discover what their best learning styles are. And then based on that information, we make adjustments to their curriculum because we homeschool. They make adjustments to how they process and regurgitate that information and contemplate that information. And the end result is they're continually getting better and better and better, trying new things, exploring new avenues of their minds in relation to a certain subject matter. Now imagine if we were to do the same exact thing when it comes to our learning processes. Imagine if we were to do the same thing when it comes to, whether we're learning a new thing in business or starting a new business, whether we're learning a new thing in the kitchen, whatever it is. If we were to give ourselves the same leeway and understand that until we have established a certain pattern of doing things, we have no basis to judge or to prejudge our outcomes. There's no way that we can get disappointed when we're keeping it in the right perspective, that we can get disappointed for not knocking something out of the proverbial park the first time at bat. Okay? It's just as simple as that, is that you cannot expect a baby to know how to do something that they've never done before. But we don't tend to interpolate that same information, the same mindset on ourselves. We don't look at ourselves in new areas of learning the same way we look at babies, which we should. Because unless we have something that is similar in nature, then we are babies in this new arena of our lives. Anything that you've never done before, you are a baby until you mature in it, until you do it enough times that you become proficient, and then you develop mastery around it, and then you become, the guru, if you will. So think about that. Think about it long and hard. Everything that you start off, consider yourself a baby and give yourself the same support that you would give a baby. Now, if you're a cruel person, then don't do that. Don't give yourself the same support, because you're probably not supporting the babies as they're learning to walk. But I doubt that you're a cruel person if you're listening to this radio. And just a little thing to make you laugh there. But think about it like that. Treat yourself as a baby in these new arenas that you are learning something new in. Go through the steps. Find out what your learning style is. Are you kinesthetic? Are you auditory? Are you visual? What is your best learning style? Whatever that is, or whatever combination, employ those in your process of learning this new subject matter. And then go through repetitive motion, understand, contemplate it, look at it from a logical standpoint, look at it from an emotional standpoint, look at it from different angles to see where it sets inside of you, inside of your mindset, inside of your physiology, and then make the necessary moves in order to own the information, not just memorize it. That's one thing that is a big challenge with so many institutions. Let me rephrase that. So many institutions that I've seen and have been privy to, they focus on the rote way of learning things just by memory, as opposed to from getting a good understanding of the subject matter. You see, when you understand a subject, you don't need to memorize it because you get the principles. The principles are solid or solidified within yourself. And so then you could always take the formulaic approach and break down the next problems that are presented to you based on the principles that you know are in play. Okay, I won't go down that road right now. That's probably a whole other podcast and with some other experts. But you get the point. We have to be gracious enough with ourselves to give ourselves the leeway to explore, learn, and to master different things or new things that we come across in life as we are making strides to better our best. I want you to pop on over to bit.ly/2hacks. And that's bit.ly, bit.ly/2 and then HACKS. Okay, that is where you will find the first part of this broadcast, along with 2 hacks that I believe will help you do amazing things in your life, because it's just a matter of mindset. One of the hacks is on, the way that you approach life. Are you going with the stream or are you going against the stream? Now, I've heard both schools of thought on it, and I have my own opinion on it. And if you want to know what that opinion is, pop on over to bit.ly/2 hacks. And let me know what you think about that. And the second one is, it deals with, they're both mindset pieces. But, the whole purpose of the mindset piece is to help you to really to become your own person in the process of your own success. I've found that a lot of times we tend to be very competitive and comparative in nature, and it's based on the programming that we have in society. Unfortunately, that's just that's the name of the game. Unfortunately, we tend to be so competitive in nature that we base our best based on what the next person is doing, as opposed to basing our best on what it is that we are here to do. Look at what your purpose is, and then judge your best, your efforts, based on what your end results are supposed to be. Okay, so I'm not going to go down that road too much. I jumped back on this broadcast for this particular item, because the last show on this, the authentic life, right? The authentic life on purpose, that I was going on and on and on. I did not realize that I actually had run out of time and space. So I was sitting there talking, and the broadcast was over. So I wanted to pick up exactly where I left off. So I had to listen to that first broadcast and then a few times just to make sure that I got into the rhythm of it. And then I started this one. Now, I did do a little chicken thing here. I'm just going to be totally transparent, because I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to pick it up right where I left off and seamlessly merge the two. Fortunately, I was able to, which I'm very happy about. But I did not put the thing on to broadcast live or to alert Facebook and Twitter at the time that I started this broadcast. I said, let me play it a little safe. I probably shouldn't have done that. I probably should have just kicked it into Twitter and Facebook and just let the cards fall where they may. But I didn't. So I just wanted you to know that I did get a little yellow there. So, but hey, it happens, right? So what I want you to do now is go through, read the blog. It's a very short blog piece, but I'm hoping that in the blog at bit.ly/2 hacks, that you're able to take some really vital information away from it. It's not a long read. They're not difficult concepts, but I do believe them to be profound concepts, and that if you can internalize those, it will definitely help transform your life if you're not already doing these things. Okay? So again, that's bit.ly/2 hacks. And if you want more information of, what it is that I've got going on, if you want to know how to take what it is that you do in business or in life, and you want to either know how to create some monetization around it, how do you make money with it, how do you create an industry out of what it is that you already know, if you want some ideas, some concepts, some ideas, a session where you kind of are questioned to draw some of those things out of you, out of your brain, out of your mind, then go ahead and shoot me a message. You could either Skype me. At Skype, I am in.jah.media.group. Okay, that's my Skype handle. You can plug right into me on the blog. There is a place for you to sign up for my newsletter, so you can do that. Just opt in, and then I will add you to the newsletter and shoot you out the stuff as it comes up. Now, I'm going to tell you, now, I have not been consistent with my newsletter. That is on my next set of ICMAs. ICMAs, if you didn't hear my broadcast from the other day, it stands for Immediate, Consistent, Micro Actions. I got that from Antonio Thornton. And as a matter of fact, he's got a whole program around that. And I think that we're going to be taping in the middle portion of December. And then 2 other times before the end of the year, just on knocking things out of the park, taking little steps consistently every day to take a goal to completion. And so I'm actually very happy to say that I have been doing my ICMAs for the past maybe week and a half, 2 weeks now. And I am seeing some tremendous results. Mindset-wise, it's great because I'm seeing stuff come off of my plate, and I'm real happy about that. Things that I've put on the back burner for many, many, many years. Things that were concerning me, not my clients, but concerning me. Projects that I've wanted to launch for myself. So I'm very happy to say that those projects are launching. They're all tracking very nicely as I continue to follow my ICMAs. So if you want to know more about this also, go ahead, hit me up, shoot me a message, comment on my blog, comment anywhere that you see this or are hearing this, put a comment in there. And I would say hashtag with 2 hacks, okay? Hashtag 2, the number 2, and HACKS. And I'll look for that and see who's plugging in on that and, get in contact with you guys. All right. So this is Jason Hodge, and you have tuned into another broadcast that I have successfully finished. I will more than likely follow up with an immediate broadcast right after this and talk a little bit more about ICMAs, why it's so important, how it has moved me, and why I think it's relevant for you and everybody else who is listening to the sound of my voice. It's something I think that we now as a society, and I'm talking about from the global society, need to really key into, because I believe that it is the key to so many of the challenges that we face and so many of the victories that we need to see in our lives. So again, I'm Jason Hodge. Pop on over to bit.ly/2hacks and connect with me there. And I'll catch you a little later. You have a good one.